All right, man. In my comments, I get a lot of people ask me about Minswap. Is this a good thing to buy here today, late 2024 or for 2025? Is Minswap something that they should be buying? So in 10 minutes, people have been asking me to shorten the videos down a little bit also. So in 10 minutes, we're going to go over Minswap and what I think about the project. What are the fundamentals? What are the tokenomics? What is the chart showing? And what do I think happens? Like, where's my stance on it? And what do I think people should be looking at? So let's just get exactly right into it, okay? This is minswap.org. You can go to their Twitter and find their website, or you can search them on Google. But this is Minswap. On Minswap, Minswap has a couple key fundamental things that it does. You can trade tokens, you can do farming, you can do yield, you can do liquidity. So basically, like Uniswap, a lot of DEX stuff where those DEXs, in order to make swaps, need pools. So on Minswap, you can trade, but there's also a bunch of ways that you can earn through farming, staking, liquidity, and then you can do your basic trading here. Now, Minswap is actually the biggest DEX and probably the best decentralized exchange on Cardano. We can see this and we can verify this when we go over here to DeFi Llama. And this right here is Cardano, right? This is the Cardano page. Down here, you can see that Minswap is number 2 by total value locked. And it was number 1 for a long time, I think. What's been happening, I think, is that while TVL is going up for Minswap, I think people are probably, you can see here in terms of ADA, Minswap ADA TVL is actually kind of stagnating or coming down a little bit. And I think what's happening is that as the ADA price goes up, people are pulling ADA off of the liquidity or off of the farming in order to use that ADA and put it into meme coins or DeFi tokens or DEX tokens or, you know, NFTs or whatever they want to do with it, right? Or they're lending it out on lending protocols. And so I think that's why you're seeing some of this total value lock coming away from Minswap. But Minswap is the largest DEX on Cardano. It has the highest total value locked in Cardano and is fundamentally one of the best exchanges on Cardano for swapping tokens. This is the pro mode, but if you want to go basic mode, this is what you just see. I mean, it's a standard decentralized exchange. I like to use pro mode. I like to look at a couple things here if I'm going to use Minswap to trade things. Now, it's very easy to use. You put ADA here. You say, I want to take 10 ADA and I want to swap it for Min. You do the... with their version 2, you can kind of see what routes they have to choose, right? Like, do you want to go from ADA to Min or ADA to Min or ADA to SNEC to Min or ADA to MNT to Min? So you have a couple options. Best to just go with the most liquidity. That's what Minswap is known for, being the biggest decentralized exchange on Cardano. It has the most liquidity, most total value locked, most assets on the platform, which is always good, right? You want a project that has a lot of people backing it, has a lot of reasons to stay around. So then after you do this, you can sign your transaction. Obviously, it doesn't look like I have enough ADA in my wallet currently because I'm too much of a crazy Cardano native token person, and I swapped all my ADA for CNTs already. But you can just sign the transaction here and keep going. Okay, so that's trading. Minswap is very good at trading, very low fees, very on par for the rest of the ecosystem, right? It has good fees, the best liquidity, the best total value locked. And that liquidity comes in here with people who are taking their tokens and they're farming it, right? If you are interested in annualized percentage returns, and if you want to earn some Min tokens, you can take ADA that you have and put it into some of these. First you have to go in here into liquidity. You can take some ADA and put it in here and zap it in and earn liquidity. You can read up on this more if you want. This is only going to be a 10-minute video. But you can take ADA, you can take other tokens, and you can add liquidity to the platform. Adding liquidity helps Minswap do better transactions with less slippage because there's more assets on the platform to transact with. So you can provide liquidity, and from there you can take that liquidity and you can farm with those LP tokens. You can see right here, LP tokens, passive income with Min rewards and potential for boosted returns. So when you provide liquidity, then you get LP tokens. Then you can take those LP tokens and stake them in one of these pools. Min ADA is currently paying 10% a year, right? And these are variable. They change based on usage, but like SNEC is paying 47% a year currently. WMTX, 29%. Right. And so you can take your ADA or your LP tokens of the things that you provided to the farm and add them to this liquidity, right? You provide liquidity to the platform, then you get those LP tokens and you can stake it and kind of earn off of that. Also, if you have Min, right? If you have the Min token, you can start staking it to the platform and earning rewards. But basically, people who are staking to the platform have the ability to earn fees from the platform. It's basically kind of like a revenue sharing thing. So if you have the Min token, you can stake those Min, and currently you are earning a 13% return on your min or on your ADA, right, in terms of ADA. And so you put in min and you kind of see your ADA APR right here is 12%. Your min APR is about 1%. So a lot of fundamental use cases of what this platform is doing, a lot of things that they're having. They have almost every token here on Cardano. So Minswap is fundamentally the biggest DEX on Cardano, has the most liquidity, the most total value locked. It is the biggest one and is probably the most trusted one, right? If you're going to choose a DEX to swap on instead of a DEX aggregator, in my opinion, you would use Minswap. So they have a big dominance in the market. They have a big moat around the market. And actually, you can see right here, if we only look at DEXs, if we only look at Cardano DEXs, the next closest one is less than half of the total value locked of Minswap. So Minswap has a hold, which is always good. They have a hold on the DEX market in Cardano. If you're an investor in Min, that is one big selling point for you. Now, after that, the last big thing that you can do, like if you're a Min token holder, another big thing that they have is governance. So a lot of DeFi protocols on Cardano have been doing really well with governance. LenFi, I like their governance. I like Indigo's governance. I like Minswap's governance, where they're asking their holders to vote on things and to provide feedback on where the protocol should be going. So another big thing with the Minswap token and the Minswap fundamentals is that they are utilizing governance, which is a big thing inside of the Cardano ecosystem. We like governance. And finally, they have a lot of really interesting things here on their, with their version 2 upgrade. They've really added a lot to their website. You can see TVL, you can see TVL breakdown, like what people are staking to, right? Currently it's, this is others, but the majority here is in the Min ADA pool. And then you can see the volume of what people are trading a lot of SNEC, doing a lot of currently Bodega, Hosky, WMT, and you can see this is what people are talking about on Twitter. And so it's very interesting to see how the market is reacting and changing in real time with some of this stuff. Now, fundamentals we think are good, right? They have good fundamentals, but that is not the only thing that seals the deal on a token. The next thing you want to look at is the tokenomics, right? Like who's getting tokens? What is the use case of the tokens? And then like kind of what's the current circulating supply and how will that be affected? You can see the tokenomics currently right here, but this is only the current supply, right? This is only the current stuff that's happening, or this section right here is the current supply. What is left to come out is on this side. So this pink section is the circulating supply. All of these is what's left to come. And you can see one big major thing that you need to keep in mind. Yield farming still has 34% of the tokens to release. So we're going to come back to this here in a second, but yield farming is a very important thing to do if you want to stay with the Min token inflation. Now, if you're going to hold Min for 3 months or 6 months, you don't really have to worry about inflation as much. But if you start holding it for 9 months, 1 year, a year and a half, 2 years, next cycle, right, you're going to want to worry about the Min token inflation. And a lot of that inflation is going to come in here in the yield farming section. So if you hold Min tokens, you might want to consider doing yield farming. It comes with a little bit more risk, smart contract risk, maybe some impermanent loss risk. I'm not 100% sure on the yield farming, but you come into more risk, but you get more reward and keep pace with Min token inflation. These tokenomics really answer our next question about how are the tokenomics, how is that affecting us as investors? Well, you can see where tokens are going. A lot of the tokens are going to the public, right? The current circulating supply is arguably out there for the public. So you got 44% out there now. And then 34% more is going to go out to the public. So this is a very public focused token, which is very good because as retail investors, we want to have a public token that's not controlled by developers, not controlled by teams, not controlled by venture capitalists, because we want an organic market price. If we don't have an organic market price, it really ruins the whole rest of our analysis because you could have good fundamentals, you could have a good chart, but then if you have inorganic market dynamics because some venture capital is selling, $1 million in tokens every week, then you're going to have a negative price effect regardless of all the other factors. So in order to have the best risk reward, we want a fair market price, which is what we get with a lot of retail focused token distribution. So the token distribution of the Min token is actually really, really good. Then the token utility, as we saw, is good because you have the ability to earn yield, to provide liquidity, to get some kind of revenue sharing if you stake your min, and then you have a vote on the governance. So there is good utility in the token. The last and final thing is the circulating supply. Now, the circulating supply is going to be expanding, and unfortunately this video is already getting over 10 minutes, and I'm trying to keep it as short as possible, but the circulating supply is going to be expanding, okay? And we can look at that here on Tap Tools just really quickly. You can see right here, circulating supply is 1.33 billion min, but the total supply is 3 billion min. So only about 50%, not even 50% of the tokens are in circulating supply currently. In fact, I should just look here, 44% of the tokens are in circulating supply. So if you are a Minswap holder, you have to recognize that you are going to be eaten up by inflation as more tokens get released. Now, if you like Minswap and you like the Min token and you want to hold this as a DEX token, the only way you can combat that is by providing yield, or taking your Min and staking it and earning some type of Minswap rewards in some way to counteract the inflation so you keep up with the inflation. That is the only way you get ahead. So tokenomics for me are kind of like 50-50. Like, they're good utility, good distribution, and then they become good if you take your min and do something to earn more inflation. But there's going to be a lot of inflation. So if you're not going to be a part of the protocol and earn some inflation rewards, you are going to fall behind. And I think it is not good if you're not going to do that. Lastly, we looked at fundamentals, we looked at tokenomics, and I think fundamentals are great. Tokenomics are okay depending on what you do with your Minswap tokens. If you're getting min in return for providing to the platform, you're going to do good. If you're not, you're going to fall behind due to inflation, okay? And then we go to the chart, right? We look at fundamentals, we look at tokenomics, we look at chart before we make a decision. And the final thing that we want to look at here is this chart. This is the chart of Minswap versus ADA, okay? And we got it on a logarithmic scale right here because the chart is actually just so flat and so distributed. It's better to look at it on a logarithmic chart. But what we are seeing here, if we just zoom way out, is we see that Min has been going down for a long time and it has been struggling to get any upwards momentum, okay? It has been struggling to get upwards momentum. This is because of how the circulating supply is, right? Over the last 3 years, 2 years, it's been slowly dripping these Minswap tokens out to the public. And so because of that, this is going to have an effect as price comes down because some people are selling those min rewards, right? Now, towards the end of this distribution, as all the tokens get into circulating supply, less sell pressure will be on the token, which will be very good. But we're not there yet. We're not even close to getting there. There are some good things in this chart, though. There are some good things. The first good thing is that you can see right now, price has actually been going up since about September, really in this November bull run kind of season that we've been in. For Cardano, the price of Minswap against ADA has been slowly going up. The big thing that I would argue to look at, well, if we want to stay bullish for a second, the price is going up. Okay, the RSI is showing things are going up. The MACD down here is actually flipping across the zero line almost, which is very bullish, right? These things can be early, right? They're not perfect timers, but it's showing momentum for Minswap is headed upwards, okay? So Minswap is going upwards. It's coming off of its low, which was down here at about 0.03 ADA, and today it's about 0.04 ADA. And then when we go into actually some, like the 3-day time frame, you can see Min is actually getting above all moving averages, and the RSI is really getting up there, and the MACD is really getting up there. So it's very interesting to see that price has been doing well, and we've seen times when price has done well. For example, in that kind of 2023 bull market where SNEC kind of came around and was born, and all these projects did really well, Min did really well, okay? But it hasn't really broken a new all-time high. It hasn't really changed the trend on the macro basis. There are a few things, if you want to be bullish on Minswap, that I think you would want to see happen with the token. So the first thing that you would want to see if you want to be bullish on Minswap is you want to see Min get above this. This is a 20-month moving average. It's just starting to show over the last couple months, but you really want it to get above that. That has never really happened. And you can see even back here in 2023, that orange line was probably holding down Minswap as resistance. And so I'd be curious to see what happens over the next couple of months in January and February and March if Minswap gets above that 20-month moving average. That would be very bullish for the token. If we move down into the weekly time frame, what you would want to see is you would want to see price get above this 50-week blue moving average. Okay. We saw that happen in 2023, one of the biggest moves that Minswap has had upwards. Unfortunately, then it still went down more because of so much sell pressure, so much release of circulating supply. But if you want to get really bullish on it again, you want it to get above that blue line, basically that 50-week moving average. And then if we move down to the 3-day line, if you want to get even more bullish, you want Minswap to get all the way up here. This light blue line right here is the 200 3-day moving average. So that is a 200 on the 3-day chart moving average. And if Minswap gets above that, it does have room to get bullish. I don't think it's ever gotten above that, just like it hasn't ever gotten above the 20-month moving average, because you can see here we are not above it. It barely got above it, but was rejected, and then probably was not above it back in 2023 either. So what am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say Minswap is a good project. It is a great decentralized exchange, and Cardano would not survive without it, right? We need Minswap. We need these big DEXs, right? These big competitors in the space. The fundamentals are perfect. It is a great decentralized exchange. Tokenomics are really good. Lots out for the retail, really public focused tokenomics, lots of governance, lots of use case, and then the distribution still has a long way to go, right? Still got 50% of the tokens to get out there. So that's the one negative on tokenomics. As far as the chart, there's not a ton of reasons to be immediately bullish on price, right? I know people want to be bullish on it. Back in 2022, when I was just kind of figuring this all out for myself, I was kind of bullish on it as well. But when you see this long tail end drawdown, it's hard to be very bullish on the token unless some key resistances are broken that have never been broken before. If we wanted to compare this to Uniswap, now remember, Minswap is a little bit behind Uniswap, but if we wanted to compare this to Uniswap, people might be wondering, well, how is Uniswap doing compared to Minswap? You can see the same thing happening to Uniswap as what is currently happening to Minswap. The big difference in Uniswap and Minswap that's currently happening right now, and why Uniswap is having has potential for better price action, is that we have a circulating supply on Uniswap of 600 million with a total supply of 1 billion. So 60% of the Uniswap tokens are out in circulating supply right now, compared to Minswap just only having 44%. And so what do I think about the future price of Minswap based on that? I think Minswap can go up, but I want to be limited and realistic in how far it can go up. So today we have a current fully diluted value of 140 million ADA for Minswap, which is about $150 million. Okay, we can just round it about $150 million. And let me get my calculator. Real quick. If we take some math here, and we have $150 million, and Cardano at $1 today goes to $3, right? Remember, this is a Minswap ADA chart. So if ADA went to $3, we can take 150 million, we can times it by 3, and without this chart moving at all, if Minswap versus ADA didn't move at all and stayed at 0.4689, and ADA went from $1 to $3, this project, Minswap, would now be worth $450 million instead of just $150 million. Okay, so it is a pretty large project. Now, if ADA went to $5, right, if we took 150 million as the current USD market cap of Minswap, multiplied it by a $5 ADA, this chart right here staying the same, Minswap would be valued at $750 million. And so we have room for Minswap to go up against the dollar. There's no doubt about that. But when you're looking at this Minswap ADA chart, the question begs, how high can it get against ADA as ADA is moving up against the dollar? In my opinion, I think that Min ADA has about a 10x in it. And I think in total, you probably got at the maximum, at the very, very maximum, kind of unrealistic as a 10x in it. So if we were more conservative, we could say like a 5x. But the way that I'm getting to this is if the fully diluted value today of Minswap, you can change this here and look at the USD valuation, is $150 million, right? Come on, work with me here. USD valuation is $150 million, okay? And Cardano, now we're going to switch back to the Min ADA chart, and Cardano goes up to $3. This now becomes a $450 million project, okay? Then, if we think Cardano goes between a $300 to $400 billion fully diluted market cap, and any one of these projects, Minswap, LendFi, DEX Hunter, NVL, can become 1 to 3% of the total market cap, right? That's kind of a realistic expectation. Let's take 1%, for example. If Cardano's 3 to 400 billion, then Minswap can become a $3 to $4 billion project, okay? So we are already, if Cardano goes to $3, at a $500 million valuation. Now, on top of that, Minswap has the ability to 500 times 6 would be kind of around your 3 billion, I think, right? 6x against this price today. So maybe a 0.24. Let me check my math here. 0.04, 8 times a 6. Yeah, around 0.2, 0.3. So if I were looking at like a really realistic scenario, this has the ability to kind of get right here. Minswap has the ability, in my opinion, to kind of realistically get back up here. Okay. So if I were looking to hold Minswap, I think maybe price, I don't think it has a 10x in it really. I think maybe like kind of like a 5 or 6x against ADA. Kind of back up to here around its previous, not really all-time high, but like kind of close. If it gets above some of these resistances, I would target around this range. Although I do want to warn you that as far as risk reward, I don't think that Minswap is the best DEX token to invest in, because price is continuing to fall downwards, because, you know, it is a great project, it is a great product, but as far as how big the market cap is, limited potential upside because of how big the project is already, and then circulating supply of the token being consistently released, and then other projects having like better chart structures. I think this might not be the best investment for everyone who's watching this. I think it's still going to do well, and I think it still can do well. Maybe if it gets above some of these resistances, right? We see some of the trends going upwards. We see a season where it could get above these moving averages and start to make way for the upside. So if you want to invest in Minswap, watch some of those things, but I would just be cautious of another one of these scenarios happening. This was 2023. I'd be cautious of maybe a great little 2024 run up in the spring, maybe early summer, before kind of coming down again. So just a big what if question. If Minswap really wanted to get up here, it would have to take out this high. It would have to really reset the structure, which I think is kind of hard as circulating supply is coming out. All right. Don't want to burst anyone's bubble. That's just my raw opinion on Minswap. I know we went way over 10 minutes and we're getting into 20 minutes in this video, but whatever. I tried my best. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Minswap, good buy, bad buy. Do you hold some? I think it's a great project. I think the tokenomics are good, except for the circulating supply. So if you are planning to do yield farming and earn more Minswap, the price doesn't really matter because you're keeping up as you get more Minswap. Okay, so that's another thing to consider. I don't personally want to deal with that. I would rather invest into a DEX product like Hunt that has a chart that looks like this, that has reasonable expectation, reasonable bottom that's already put in, much smaller market cap, and something like risk reward is more in my favor. That's my Minswap video. That's my raw opinion. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one.